All right, everybody, what's up? So I just wanted to put this video out here. I just wanted to talk about real quick the whole Amiibo situation going on right now, and just why there's like so much hate going on for the Skyward Sword Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo. And I don't get all the hate behind it. And I woke up, and I actually just woke up, and yeah, I don't know. I was scrolling through Twitter and saw just how all these people are just like hating on this Amiibo. And not so much like the Amiibo itself, I guess. I mean, it kind of is, but it's just like people are hating on the price. People are hating on what it does in the game. And I was talking to my buddy about it yesterday, and I was just like, I don't get it. Like, Amiibo has been like, this is what Amiibo has been since they came out in 2014. They've always been content that was locked within this figure. You had to buy the figure to get the content. That's what it was. When they were all for Smash Brothers, you unlocked like a ghost fighter pretty much that you got to like train, and like you could, it was almost like Pokemon kind of, where you had this Amiibo, you could train it up and take it to a friend's house and have them fight their Amiibo and see who had trained, the Amiibo better and whatever. And like, that's fun. And that's like a whole aspect of the game and a whole like thing of the game that got locked behind an Amiibo figure, and nobody cared because they were cool figures, because you also got a cool figure. So it was like buying DLC that you also got an awesome figure for. And so that's just been like the history of Amiibo, has been that content's been locked behind these figures. And I totally get that there's sometimes where content is locked behind something and that's not good. Like, for example, the Metroid for Samus Returns, the Metroid Amiibos weren't the best, because one of those unlocked like the hard mode, the super hard mode, and like that sucks. And then you couldn't like do the hard mode because you had the Amiibo for it, unless you had the Amiibo, and then those Amiibo of course shot up in price, and they always do. Amiibo always go up in price, so that's unfortunate. But kind of getting back to the Skyward Sword one, the feature they're locking behind this Amiibo is just like a fast travel ability. And don't get me wrong, I totally understand that it is a quality of life update, and that is something that drastically improves like the gameplay experience of Skyward Sword. However, I don't think it's enough to like get into this huge argument and say how like detrimental this is going to be to Skyward Sword, that this feature is like right here, and how scummy and greedy Nintendo is and all this stuff. Not that I'm out here saying Nintendo's has no fault ever in anything. I just think this is one of the instances where they don't really, and it's not like this is a surprise, this isn't shocking, this isn't new in any way. So now there's outrage about this, and like, trust me, this is not the one to get mad about, like them locking this feature. Get mad about something like locking like super exclusive content behind an Amiibo. Like, imagine if they locked like a whole level behind an Amiibo. That's something that, okay, that's totally wrong. I totally get that. And like in Twilight Princess HD, you had to get the collector's edition of that game to get Wolf Link, and then they eventually released him later. But that's this one. I actually have all my Zelda ones here, but like that one has you get Wolf Link in the game. Like, you get to put him in Twilight Princess, and you get to play with him in the game, which granted, he's not that OP. It's not like it totally ruins the game if you can't have that. And nothing Amiibo wise really is like that, where it ruins the entire experience of the game just by nature of it being there, And the other thing I want to address is the argument that, oh yeah, this got locked behind an Amiibo, and so that's stupid and that's scummy that you have to pay for it, and it's this update, whatever. But on the flip side, there's always an argument of, oh well, you've locked this huge thing behind an Amiibo. So in, say, like Breath of the Wild, there were certain costumes that you could get in Breath of the Wild that were locked behind Amiibo. There were certain weapons that you could unlock that were locked behind certain Amiibo. There were certain types of like so many different things that were locked behind Amiibo that like, okay, that's worth like saying, hey, well, I don't get to unlock this costume because I didn't get this. Like, that sucks. But the costume didn't do anything in the game. The costume was not upgradable in the game. So What were you really missing out on? Like, yeah, you missed out on this exclusive content, and that sucks. And what really sucks is that there was no way to unlock that content any other way in the game. So if you wanted that costume, or you wanted that weapon, or you wanted whatever it was, whether it be like even Epona was in there, you could get her through an amiibo. Whatever it was, you wanted to unlock it, you couldn't without the amiibo. Completely locked. That sucks. Getting over to Skyward Sword though, yeah, you get this amiibo and you get to use it and you unlock it, and you unlock this fast travel ability, which is great, and again is a huge quality of life update. However, you can still travel to the surface. Like, it lets you beam up to the surface and then you get to beam back down. You can still go to a save point and beam up to the surface, do what you got to do, and beam back down to the save point, or beam back down to the area, and still get there and go about your day. It just takes longer. But that was the whole argument with locking exclusive costumes and exclusive weapons behind Amiibo, where everybody's argument was, oh, well, if you would just add a quest in there, or if you just added some ability in there just to where I could unlock it too without the Amiibo, if the Amiibo just unlocked it early, then that'd be fine. But the fact that it's completely locked behind an Amiibo for the costume, for the weapons, whatever, that's so scummy. That's terrible. This, that, the other, whatever. And that is, and I'm not saying that that's not bad. And that is very annoying if you can't get the Amiibo and then you're locked out of this content forever, because then you go and try and buy an Amiibo now and they're all super expensive. Any of the Zelda ones are crazy expensive now, and you have to get them right when they come out. And this one's going to be no different. This one's going to shoot up in price. This one's going to be, this will be $50 the day after it comes out, the day it comes out, unless they surprise us and they've made 10 million of them, which they have been doing with the recent Smash Amiibo. A lot of those have been getting large, initial runs. So we'll see, I guess. But for the problem that is locking content behind it, this, for the Skyward Sword Amiibo, no content is locked. It's not like it's a feature that you cannot, there's no other way for you to complete this. If you could have never returned to the surface until you beat the dungeon, and then this Amiibo lets you just beam to the surface whenever, at whatever point you wanted to, and that wasn't a possibility before, then okay, that's a feature that got locked. I understand that. But there are still ways in the game. Yeah, they're more annoying, but you can still do it in the game. The end result of you beaming up, to Skyloft City and coming back down is still available in the game. You can still do that in the game. This Amiibo does not lock that feature out. It just locks the feature of doing it immediately. It's just like a quickness thing. Okay, but the complaint before was, oh, I don't care how long it takes me to unlock that costume, to unlock that weapon, whatever. Just make it somewhat unlockable in the game. Well, this feature is available in the game. You can still get this, the same end result that this Skyward Sword Amiibo gives you is still in the game. So that's kind of my take on it. And I'm not trying to sound super harsh, not trying to sound super mean about it. It's just like, oh my goodness, I'm seeing all these people complain about this Amiibo. And I'm like, where have you been for all of Amiibo's history of life? Like, that's the way it's been. Amiibo has been about locking content into the figure. Otherwise, that's why there's a whole chip set inside of it. That's why there's an NFC chip inside the Amiibo, so that it unlocks things in the game. It needs to be something that is incentive enough for somebody to buy it, or Nintendo would have just released a figure. Nintendo would have just released a regular figure that was not an Amiibo, that was not technology, that was not anything. Nintendo would have just released it as a figure, and that's it. But that's not the case. It has to do something in the game. It has to unlock something in the game. And it needs to be exclusive, because if it wasn't an exclusive feature, if it was something that like, oh yeah, you can unlock this, or you can do it through 5 minutes of gameplay, it'd be like, well, then what's the point? Like, then why would I get it other than wanting to have a cool figure, which I would, and I would totally buy all the different Amiibo figures, even if they didn't unlock anything in the game, just because I think they look cool. But that's just me, and maybe some people wouldn't. I don't know. I honestly don't use Amiibo. I don't use Amiibo in games ever. And I feel like a majority of people probably don't either. Like, I'll play through Skyward Sword, and especially if I'm playing in handheld, I'll probably never ever use this amiibo to do whatever. Like, I'll just keep doing it the old-fashioned way. Maybe I'll do it once or twice, but like the Wolf Link amiibo, never once scanned him into Breath of the Wild, never trained him up in the in Twilight Princess HD on Wii U, never did anything with it. Didn't care enough. I scanned a few amiibos when Breath of the Wild came out, just because that's the day the Switch came out. All those amiibo came out, new Zelda came out, so I used it just to see it. And I'll probably do that for this, just to try it once, just to do it. And I'll never do it again, because that's exactly what happened with the Breath of the Wild amiibo. I scanned them, it dropped a few chests, it gave me this cool costume. I said, great, thanks. I don't care about the rest of it, like whatever. And then just went about playing the game like normal. And I've played through the game like 6 more times and have not used an amiibo, never used an amiibo. So I don't know. That's just interesting. That's just my take on it. Oh, and the last thing I want to bring up too is about the price. People are freaking out that it's $24.99. Sure, that is expensive. But amiibo have been going up in price a lot lately in the past few years. And there's the whole plastic shortage deal, whatever. So I totally get that that's probably affecting everything. They're probably more expensive to make. Now they're way more detailed though. Their amiibo are more detailed now than they ever have been before. We started with this one here, which was the original Super Smash Brothers one. That was the first, run of Super Smash Brothers amiibo. Whatever, it's fine. Link's on like a little P stick, whatever. But then and that was what, $12.99 when that came out. And then we jump up to this one, to this guy, the Guardian amiibo. That when he came out was $19.99. That was a $20 amiibo. That was the first $20 amiibo. And now we're looking around. The Monster Hunter ones that I just got, the whole big dragon guy for Monster Hunter Rise was $20. The other ones were, or he might have been $24.99. I honestly don't know. Like, to get by himself. He came with the collector's edition. I had to get the $100 collector's edition that he came in, but he was available by himself, I'm pretty sure, for $24.99, because then the regular ones were $19.99. The Palico cat and the Palamont, the dog, I'm pretty sure were $19.99. So amiibo have just been going up in price, and that's just the way it is, and that's the way it'll always be. And it's Zelda, and it's Zelda's 35th anniversary, so they're milking it for that. I have the whole range of Zelda amiibo from the 30th anniversary here, and those were expensive in price. Then there's all the Guardians, all the Breath of the Wild ones that came out. Those were expensive. So it's like, yeah, amiibo have been going up. That's just it. That's the price of being an amiibo collector. And if you haven't been there from the beginning, like if you don't remember like the Wave 4 debacle, the Wave 4 tragedy of amiibo in the history of amiibo, then like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we've made it through worse. This is crazy. This is just, I don't know. Just either get it or don't get it, and that's it. Like, I got my pre-order in. It's definitely possible to get a pre-order in. You just got to follow the right people on Twitter. Follow Warrior64, because he tweets as soon as things go live. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got as far as the amiibo. But yeah, I just woke up today, saw all that on Twitter, and I was like, man, what's going on? Like, something's weird. I'm not a fan of it. So, but yeah, that's all I got. And let me know what you guys thought about that in the comments below. Just let me know, like, how do you feel about this amiibo? Do you plan on getting it? Do you think that it's super scummy that this feature is locked behind it? Do you think that Nintendo should do away with amiibo, or do you think they should just become figures now and they should have no, technological anything in it? It shouldn't be any kind of technology. It should just be a figure. Just let me know your thoughts down below, and let's have a discussion about it. Alrighty? Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.